good, so good, so good.
Score holiday gifts everyone wants for way less at your Nordstrom Rack store. Save on UGG, Nike, Rag & Bone, Vince, Frame, Kurt Geiger London, and more.
Because there's always something new.
I'm giving all the gifts this year with that extra 5% off when I use my Nordstrom credit card. Santa who?
Join the Nordy Club at Nordstrom Rack to unlock our best deals. It's easy. Big gifts, big perks. That's why you rack.
If you're a smoker or vapor ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
A lot of supplement brands chase trends, but if you're serious about your health, we know research-backed science is what actually moves the needle. Momentous works with the best brains in human science to create every formula, and every batch is made of pure ingredients, tested for safety, and does not contain fillers. So you get the best long-term results possible. Creatine isn't just for muscle gains, it's essential daily fuel for your brain, body, and long-term performance. Momentous CreaPure Creatine is backed by leading performance experts like Dr. Andrew Huberman and Dr. Stacy Sims. Sourced exclusively in Germany, CreaPure sets the gold standard for creatine, delivering the purest form, creatine monohydrate, that's rigorously washed and never cut with fillers. With over 2,000 5-star reviews, over 112,000 customers have seen the results firsthand. With Momentous, the fundamentals are done right. Right now, Momentous is offering our listeners up to 35% off your first subscription order with promo code ACAST. Go to livemomentous.com and use promo code ACAST for up to 35% off your first subscription order. That's livemomentous.com, promo code ACAST.
So good, so good, so good.
Score holiday gifts everyone wants for way less at your Nordstrom Rack store. Save on UGG, Nike, Rag & Bone, Vince, Frame, Kurt Geiger London, and more.
Because there's always something new.
I'm giving all the gifts this year with that extra 5% off when I use my Nordstrom credit card. Santa who?
Join the Nordy Club at Nordstrom Rack to unlock our best deals. It's easy. Big gifts, big perks. That's why you rack.
If you're a smoker or vapor ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Toby.
And welcome to the Whispering Woods Classic Ghost Stories. This episode is all about
The Devil's Footprint.
Yeah, so this one is a West Country one. West Country massive. Because that's where we are from.
Get down.
I love it. And as I said yesterday, this is where we're going in January. Imagine it snows and then we can look for the devil's hoof prints.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it just turns out to be a deer.
No, but well, you'll understand when you hear it, okay? I'll get straight into it. Are you ready for the story?
Yes, I am.
It's the dead of winter, 1855, in the quiet villages of South Devon. The moon was hidden by heavy clouds, and the air was as cold and crisp as glass. Inside stone cottages, hearth fires sputtered, while families prayed for the storm to pass. The west wind moaned at the shutters, rattling pots. For days the temperature had hovered around freezing, keeping rivers and wells locked in ice. By midnight, the land lay buried under a thick, unbroken blanket of snow. A distant owl hooted from the moor, but otherwise the world was silent. Now imagine stepping outside at midnight on such a night. You can feel your breath frosting on your eyelashes, and each step cracks through the soft snow like a rifle shot. In the darkness, a ploughman's lantern glows pale and shaken. Even the sheep stand huddled, motionless, as if sensing something unnatural. That night, villagers shuttered their doors against a sinister wind. The watchman, Jack Harridge, tramped his usual route through the icy lanes with lantern in hand. The empty streets were eerie. Jack paused at the churchyard, the church clock frozen at 11:45. There he thought he heard faint hoofbeats echoing behind him on the frozen road, only to whirl around and see empty fog swirling. He shivered and hurried on, steeling himself against whispers of old legends. On some wintry nights, they said, the devil himself walks the earth. By first light, the countryside had become a world of pale white. Barn roofs glistened with frost, and wreaths of smoke curled from cottage chimneys. Slowly, villagers ventured out into the dawn. They cleared doorsteps of snow and fed the horses in the field. At first all they saw was smooth, untouched snow across yard and meadow. And then shrieks of alarm began. One by one, they noticed it. A curious single-file trail of hoof-like prints, snaking across a path into the misty fields beyond. John Trenwith, the baker at Topsham, was the first to shout. He'd stepped out to fetch water from his well and nearly dropped the bucket. There, pressed into the clean snow before his bakery, were small cloven marks, each only a few inches long, leading away toward the windmill. "Look at this," he shouted. "What in God's name is this?" Neighbours emerged to see. A milkmaid pointed, trembling. "It's like a goat's hoof." An old farmer knelt and prodded the snow with his stick. Each print was hollow in the middle, as if only the rim of the hoof pressed down. By sunrise, the news spread like wildfire. Men came running to John's shop, clutching lanterns and asking each other, "Have you ever seen the like?" Across town, other stories emerged. In Exmouth, the grocer found prints stamped at his door. In Lympston, an old widow followed hoofprints from her chicken coop into the garden. Even at the churchyard in Dawlish, the sexton discovered fresh marks on the stone tombs, as if someone had walked on top of them. One newspaper later described the tracks as to be seen in all kinds of inaccessible places, on the tops of houses and narrow walls, in gardens and courtyards, as well as in open fields. Farmers compared notes, footprints on fences, on gateposts, on slate roofs high above the ground. An agitated young farmer, finding prints on the top rung of his ladder, cried, "It's like the devil's work." Others whispered, "Truly a bad sign." Each tiny print was barely 4 inches long by about 3 inches wide. In crisp outline against the snow, it looked exactly like a small cloven hoof. One local clergyman who measured the trail later wrote that the impressions closely resembled that of a donkey's shoe, some only 1.5 inches across, yet each track was perfectly formed and evenly spaced. Old Tom Bartlett, the village miller, ran his finger along one imprint and muttered. He trod it gentle as any man, didn't break a twig. His eyes widened. Around them, the wind was suddenly deafening. No one spoke. It was clear. These prints formed a single track, one foot following another in perfect rhythm, wandering out through the countryside. What could walk like that? Someone finally said. An animal, a man, or something else? The villagers formed a makeshift posse. By midday, 12 men from Exmouth and Dawlish were trudging across fields in single file, determined to follow the line of prints. Farmers, blacksmiths, and herdsmen marched together, eye scanning the snowy ground and hedgerows. Word had spread that even a farmer's boots bore hoof prints from his own porch. Everyone wanted to know who or what had done this. They pressed on into the misty afternoon. The trail led through pastures, over frozen streams, and between groves of leafless oaks. They were always single file. Once, on the edge of a boggy meadow, a young man named Carter nearly fell when he thought he saw movement in the reeds. His lantern beam lit on something scuttling away, but when the others joined him, all they found was a tuft of black fur caught on the thorn bush. Their nerves were frayed. Everywhere the prince marched on. The party watched, mouths agape, as the trail continued up and over fences and walls as if by magic. On a narrow cattle bridge, the prince began on one side of the blanks and ended unbroken on the far side, not once touching the frozen stream below. At one farm the hoof marks passed right under an open window and reappeared on the snow-covered floor inside, despite the window being closed. One farmer later told reporters that a set of prints passed over a 6-inch drainpipe, showing up on the other side. Another claimed to have seen prints crossing a 2-mile span of the River Exe, the marks continuing perfectly on the far bank, as if the creature had walked over the water. The men at first reacted with stunned silence at such tales, but who could scoff at what they had already seen? As the hours wore on and daylight faded, the men grew exhausted and chilled. They stopped to rest by a fallen tree. Farmer Collins pulled a small knife and cut a plug of tobacco for a pipe. "I'll tell you this," he muttered around a pinch of tobacco, eyes on the trail. "That ain't no animal I've ever known." Another spat on the snow and said, "Ghost or devil, I don't care. I'm not sleeping out here again." They built a small fire and huddled around it, hands over the warmth. No one dared turn back. By now they had gone miles. Each step deeper into the fading daylight felt heavier than the last. The prince never stopped until long after nightfall. By evening they had circled back, returning toward another village. Word of the impossibly long trail had raced ahead. By midnight, some villagers dared venture out to the barnyards. Everyone shared rumours. "They're on the rooftops. They're coming this way." At one locked gate, the next morning, men found the prints continuing on the porch beyond, as if the gate were never there at all. Sheep even huddled trembling behind barns, and dogs whimpered by the path's edge, refusing to cross. news spread that village churches had nearly full attendance on Friday. Worried people want to pray for protection. In one parish, the rector postponed his sermon to lead a prayer meeting in the churchyard at sunset. Children were called home early, and mothers whispered old exorcism prayers at the door. Even the local idiot, Blind Bartle, staggered through the snow into town, muttering and pointing at every dark corner. He's come back for more. The evening air was thick with fear. Every candle burned bright. No one wanted to be alone. For 2 nights, Devon's countryside was haunted. By evening, the tales had reached fever pitch. The Exeter Gazette reported that the prince even suggested a link with Satan. Men and women began to call the mystery by the only name that made sense to them: the Devil's Footprints. At the taverns and parish hall, every whisper was about cloven hooves and dark omens. One farmer gruffly said, "I've seen the devil's marks on snow before in some folk tale, and by God, I swear this looks just like them." A blacksmith working at his forge that night turned pale when he glimpsed a person shaped in the smoke and backed away, convinced it was only a trick of the firelight. Even the Times of London got wind of the story, calling the event worthy of the Dark Ages, and noting that frightened villagers claimed the prints were clearly the marks of Satan himself. Back in Devon, the panic spread to the pulpit. One rector warned that the devil himself had roamed their streets. A vicar in Withycombe rally, Reverend Musgrave, quipped half-jokingly about a kangaroo escaped from a distant zoo. But his audience only stared in silence, the jest lost to their dread. Night after night, people burned wax votives and left prayers under doors. One shaken mother even hung a baby's ribbon on her cross, murmuring, "Protect us from evil." A dairymaid refused to milk her cows after dark for fear the devil might ride them, and a cattleman locked his prized bull in the barn, convinced it might be the devil's mount. Old-timers recalled legends of fairies and shadows. Others only shook their heads, saying, "Never seen anything like it." The name stuck. Even children hushed one another with, "Beware the devil's footprints," whenever they found a mystery trace in the mud. By midnight of the second night, the prints were gone. The snow lay undisturbed where they had led. At dawn, the villagers fanned out to inspect every corner, threshold and field that the trail had touched. In every place where dawn's watchers had waited, they found only deep, fresh snow and their own footprints. In Chebley, a man wiped his breath and knelt at a door, expecting another mark, and saw none. In Exmouth, a farmer followed a trail into a dairy and found only a kicked-over chair. A collective relief and disappointment rippled through the county. No beast stood waiting. Only memory of that perfect, unbroken line of tracks remained. Reverend Henry Ellacombe of Topsham, who had been among those investigating, carefully preserved tracings of the footprints and every measurement. He later wrote that the marks on the snow were the perfect impression of a donkey's hoof, yet he noted they matched no donkey he had ever seen. Even stranger, each foot appeared to follow foot in a single line, covering vast distances. By his count, the footprints had wound for miles through nearly 30 parishes, nearly 100 miles of frozen mystery, yet no creature was ever seen at the end. In the following days, newspapers across Britain devoured the tale. The Times of London printed a vivid dispatch about the great excitement in Devon. Illustrated journals published woodcuts of the prince winding through the landscape, and writers marvelled they had appeared with no clue to their origin or destination. One exasperated correspondent wrote, "No one was able to discern the starting or resting point of this visitant," lamenting how the footprints simply appeared and vanished with the snow. In Devon, the incident quickly passed into local legend. Neighbours gathered at cottage fires and Sunday teas to retell the tale, each adding flourishes. An old fisherman swore he had even glimpsed a pale, horned shape leap across a barn wall at dusk. A gamekeeper swore the footprints were still warm under the snow on his property, as if the creature had fled only moments before dawn. School children giggled at the scary story, but even they felt a shiver whenever they saw hoofprints in winter. The skeptics shook their heads, chalking it up to a hoax or hysteria, but admitted they could offer no better explanation. Today, well over a century later, no one knows what made those cloven prints. The fields have long since greened, and the frost has melted back into mud. Yet every winter, when snow dusts the Devon hills, old-timers still pass the story to younger generations of that single-file journey through the white night, ending as mysteriously as it began. The Devil's footprints remain an unsolved ghost story, eerie, folkloric, and stubbornly unexplained. A whisper from the past that walks on and on in the Devonshire snow.
So good, so good, so good.
Just in, thousands of winter arrivals at your Nordstrom Rack store. Save up to 70% on coats, slippers, and cashmere from Kate Spade New York, Vince, UGG, Levi's, and more.
Check out these boots.
They've got the best gifts.
My holiday shopping hack? Join the Nordy Club.
Get an extra 5% off every Rack purchase with your Nordstrom credit card. Plus, buy it online and pick it up in store the same day for free. Big gifts, big perks. That's why you Rack.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction. But there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
So, if that wasn't a Krampus-type entity, I don't know what is. Because in answer to your question about it being a deer, how can a deer walk up a house wall, over your roof, down the bottom again? You know? Over graves, over everything in its way. Just keep on walking.
Yeah.
You can't, can you?
No.
You can't tell me how a deer, unless it was one of them not deers,
Yeah.
doing it. Classic story this is. I loved it. And I'm also going to do another version of this in this way of Black Shuck in the church, because that's another really classic story that is just right for this time of year, with storms and snow and rain. And also, did you like that I put the howling wind underneath that for all of it?
Yeah.
Just to give it a little bit of atmosphere.
Well, that's in this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
We will indeed. I'll catch up with you again tomorrow. The Reddit episode. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
it's so good.
Just in, thousands of winter arrivals at your Nordstrom Rack store. Save up to 70% on coats, slippers, and cashmere from Kate Spade New York, Vince, UGG, Levi's, and more.
Check out these boots.
They've got the best gifts.
My holiday shopping hack? Join the Nordy Club.
Get an extra 5% off every Rack purchase with your Nordstrom credit card. Plus, buy it online and pick it up in store the same day for free. Big gifts, big perks. That's why you Rack.
If you're a smoker or vapor ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
If you're an HVAC technician and a call comes in, Grainger knows that you need a partner that helps you find the right product, fast and hassle-free. And you know that when the first problem of the day is a clanking blower motor, there's no need to break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product details, you're confident you'll soon have everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.